Hi, I'm Linnea Quigley, the Scream Queen, and you're listening to the Tim O and Harley Show.
Welcome to the Tim O and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to the Tim O and Harley Show. I am Tim O. Over there is my partner in Mindcrime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben Hardbody Harley. How are you?
Oh, you know that, brother.
Oh, yes, sir.
Hard bodying over here, but I'm doing good.
Nice.
We're here lifting some weights and
sweet. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
You got to fit that into your day at some point.
Yeah.
Do a little pump and iron. Right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
So, and also, Merry Christmas shopping season.
Yes, yeah. Black Friday is, well, in our space-time continuum, it's past us, but
yes,
right now it's on the horizon. Right now, though.
Oh yeah, so it's full on.
Yeah.
So, Space-Time Continuum, Ben Harley. Also, it's the day before our Fragile Porcelain Mice show, so if there's anything interesting to report back from that, I'll have to do it next week.
Sure.
Hopefully everything goes smooth and everyone has a good time.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of, it's funny because after Thanksgiving, and I'll talk about this next week too, because I might have I will talk about it because I always talk about movies and things I've watched over the previous week.
Time,
And after Thanksgiving, Ben Harley, I get to be little hermity for a little bit.
You lucky devil. You lucky sucker.
That's right. The wife and the kids, they go to her. This year they're going to her grandma's house, which is nice. And I have to stay home and I have to be a hermit for a while. I got to recharge the old social batteries. Because what do you have right next? You have a bunch of Christmas parties.
Yeah.
And I got to be social again. So it's like not easy on the kid here. Not real easy. So.
Yeah. Antisocial.
Yeah. So I'll be watching a good amount of stuff. Our the Oasis is for sale.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So.
And I wish I had, some extra money and I lived in the St. Louis area.
Well, if anybody does, message our Facebook page and I'll send you a link to our realtor if you're interested.
Yeah.
Only serious inquiries, please.
Yeah.
So
looky-loos.
Yeah. It's hard to have tire kickers when you're getting kicked out of your house to have people come look at your house. But most of us have been through this process. So, I think everybody understands how much fun it is to sell a house. But Ben Harley, Dermal Ridge is looking outstanding.
Yeah, it's coming along.
It is coming along. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm
excited for you.
Well, I'm glad. Well, you're going to have to come and stay. You're going to have to come and stay.
Yeah.
And bring your hiking shoes.
I'm coming out there and building a tree fort somewhere.
That's right. We'll have a dirt clod fight. It'd be great.
Yeah. Squatch watch.
Yeah. We could do that in the balcony.
Yeah,
or we could do that in the sunroom without the
okay.
elements hitting us. So that would be nice. I think. We got land for my father. We bought it for my dad, and I think he wants it back. I'm pretty sure. He's kind of joking with this. Like, I kind of want it back now. It's a really nice view there. So,
yeah.
Like, well, you're not getting it back. I said, well, your bank account comes with your house, so we'll trade. We'll be fine with that. I'll just knock your shit down, and I'll build the same thing over here. I'll have plenty of dough to do it, and I'm not as good with it as you are. So,
right. Yeah, that's funny.
Well, we got some stuff here, Ben Harley, that I watched this week.
Yeah, what'd you watch, Tim?
Let's see here. One a little bit of a kind of a co-freak out, kind of a co-Italian.
Italiano?
Co-bad sequel.
Thing.
Because, I've been getting on the sequel kick a little bit.
You have.
Getting around there.
Yeah.
And so I watched first up, these are both on the Amazon Prime. All right. First up, I watched 1990, The Bronx Warriors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
With Fred Williamson, George Eastman, and Vic Morrow. Actually,
Vic Morrow.
Yeah.
Vic Morrow.
It was actually his last completed film.
Oh, okay.
This is right what he did before he got killed in the helicopter crash in Twilight Zone, which was not completed when he passed away, unfortunately. But this was his last film before that. And it's pretty kind of creepy, though. There is a lot of references to helicopters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a little strange because, and they're talking to him, about it and everything, too. It's kind of like The Warriors meets Escape from New York.
Okay.
Let's see. It's totally dubbed, and it's partially shot. Even though it's Italian, it was partially shot in New York, like some of the exterior stuff. Of course, it's supposed to be like a post-apocalyptic wasteland, in a way. But this post-apocalyptic wasteland still has heavy traffic. And in the background, looks like New Yorkers just went about their day after the apocalypse. It didn't really matter a whole bunch. But it was kind of fun. The main guy in the movie, and you have to forgive me, I don't remember his name. He was a guy that was in some Italian exploitation movies, and he was a really young guy they discovered in a gym because of his physique. Yeah, he was real big, really. Like a Greek god, handsome. Yeah. Like too kinda handsome. Like me. A little bit. Not quite that handsome. For Christ's sake. What the hell? I can't talk about how handsome you are. This is a family show.
That's true.
Yeah, but he was like very pretty. He was a pretty guy, put it that way. He had like long hair and stuff like that. But the thing is that like they actually hired real Hell's Angels because, they had the bikers in the wasteland. Everybody's a biker.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Right. Especially in New York wasteland. And the bikers apparently all made fun of the way the main guy walked.
Okay.
And the best way is, like some people said, like we're making fun of him online saying, oh, yeah, he walks like he has a stick up his ass. No. I've seen dudes with sticks up their ass walk around. It isn't that. It's more like he has his legs on backwards.
Really?
And he's walking. Okay. It's very awkward. Yeah, very, very awkward. So then right on Amazon Prime, I watched that. I had a pretty decent time watching. It's silly. It's Italian. Okay. It's got a little Mad Max or Road Warrior touches in it too. One of those Italian ripoffs of those types of movies. So a little bit of fun. And then the sequel was also up on Amazon Prime, Escape from the Bronx.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but that one couldn't hold my attention too good.
No.
Not even the dude walking with backward legs. Pretty much, it's about as exciting as watching Elton John compose a song. So we just, however exciting that is, that's how mundane it was, Yeah, and I don't mean like where he's wearing his Donald Duck outfit. I just mean like on a normal day. Yeah. Let's see here, Ben Harley. Me and Angio went back and watched something. I do believe, I'm not sure, you can correct me, but I do believe you also watched this not too long ago. We went back and this was on her recommendation. She wanted to watch this, not me. I never brought it up. We watched There Will Be Blood.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Love it. Love it.
Check Angio out. Yeah.
It was so funny because we're watching this movie and I got a shit-eating grin on my face the whole time.
Yeah.
And she's looking at me. Yeah, she's looking at me. I look over. I was like, just look at him. He's percolating. He's going to completely fucking explode. And I love it. I love it. And the thing is like, I'm on his side. The whole movie, I am on his side. Like he's like a superhero to me. And I can't stand Paul Dano, the kid who plays the preacher kid, the false prophet or whatever. And I just love the back and forth between Daniel Day-Lewis's character and him. Just love it because I can't stand that kid. And I'm not so sure they didn't make that to have you sympathetic to the preacher's character. I found none at all. None at all. And I could not wait for that explosion at the end. I just couldn't wait for it. And that's
a good one.
It is. It's so great. And I know it's long, but it's so compelling.
Yeah.
Now, since you have seen this recently, right? Again, am I correct about that? I did remember that, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now, if you remember correctly, when I watched this movie the first time, I just fell in love with it. So one of the greatest films ever made. All right. And I said it reminded me of The Shining.
A little bit, okay.
And do you still feel that? I think it's the descent into madness coupled with the guy from Radiohead's music.
Yeah, that's true too. There you go. Yeah.
And it has that Kubrick mechanical feel to it.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just, it's a different type of movie, and I think, even, me and my stuff about being slow sometimes, but,
Right.
A movie can be slow for me, but it has to have that certain feel or quality or just the way it's filmed.
Right.
And I think this one was,
Yeah.
it's just, you really don't, it's just, you kind of get into the movie. There's not much talking at the beginning. It's just action and of him just out in the middle of nowhere, and how he gets hurt and things like that. I don't know. I just, for some reason, this movie kind of drew me in because of, I guess, the feel of the film.
Yeah.
'Cause there's not like tons of action by any means,
No.
but it's just enough to keep you going. But I like it. Yeah, you're right. It's kind of a slow burn.
It's got a really eerie atmosphere for
Yeah.
a biography type drama. It's just got a real eerie, and on music, I'm telling you, it's brilliant. It's just brilliant. It's so off center, and everything. And I am telling you that we watched about a half hour of the film, and I paused it, and I did pull up an interview with John Huston.
Okay.
And Angie immediately was like, "Oh my." He's like, "Well, I made this movie and I did this." And then we turned back on.
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, Eli, let me tell you,
Yeah.
I will come to your church, Eli, and I will do this." But it's totally John Huston. That makes me love it even more. I'm like, oh God. And then the very last thing, and it's not giving anything away, but it's got the greatest ending in film history when he's just sitting there and goes, "I'm finished." I told you I would eat you, Eli. I told you I would eat you up, So I'm complete. I have a crush on the movie. I'm pretty sure I do. And I'm a happily married guy. But this movie's pretty damn good looking. It's got a nice, it looks good on the rack.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Moving on, Benner. I just wanted to.
Sure.
I knew you'd enjoy that. We watched that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, too. So very excellent film.
Film.
Yes, recommend it. Highly recommend it. Another movie on Amazon Prime, Ben Harlan. I try the new ones, right?
Sure.
I try the new flicks. So
you do. You're always looking for something.
I'm trying. So I thought, well, I'm going to go for something that looks a little weird, a little different, because sometimes they play better with me.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, like the last one that I can think of was The Greasy Strangler, which it at least kept me guffawed for an hour and a half.
Greasy Strangler.
Yeah, so this is sort of my follow-up to The Greasy Strangler. This movie is called Dark Side of the Womb.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let me, as best as I can, tell you what happens in this film. Okay. Now I'm going off memory. I didn't write anything down. I have sitting right here on my brand new nerd pad, Ben Harley. This week is the first page of my new nerd notebook for the Tim Owen Harley Show, where I write my notes now. Yeah. So another
getting ready to hit a fresh new season.
That's right. Another 70 weeks right here in my hand. So it starts off, this is hard. It starts off with two twins being born from the perspective of the babies being born. Okay. Now this is
the view there.
Yeah, but this movie costs about $11 to make. So basically, the view is a curtain. Okay. Kind of held open on the sides a little bit, and a doctor who looks like a guy that they pulled off the street who was selling meth was just grabbing into the curtain. Pulling out people and stuff. So, okay, I'm kind of in. You got a movie that costs like $9 to make. I'm blowing the budget as we go. It costs about $6 to make, and you're keeping my attention. Okay, so to give birth to twins, one is a midget, a little person. For the sake of argument, I'm going to call this person a midget, okay? I mean, no disrespect. Little person to me, personally, internally, feels more offensive. I hate the fact I had to explain that in this day and age. He was a midget, as I don't like saying little fella. I want to say a midget. He was short, okay? Little guy. Yeah. And so the mom is enamored with the, quote, not height challenged son, and completely just like blows off the midget son, like completely, he's just disgusting. She want nothing to do with him. So the son with normal height goes walking one day, and two clowns walk up to him, and the clowns tie helium balloons to his hands and his neck. And then they proceed to cut his arms and his head off. I forgot. They put a GoPro on his head. And he just stands there and lets this happen. They put a GoPro on his head. He's like, what are you doing? And then they put balloons around and they cut his hands and his head off just to watch him float, his parts float away. And the GoPro is on his head.
Oh my God.
So the head floats away, okay, with a GoPro on its head. All right. So the next thing you know, there's another couple having a baby. And instead of giving birth to a baby, she gives birth to a human head.
Oh my, what?
And so when she gives birth to the human head, her husband passes out, clocks his head on the side of a table, and kills himself. But the doctor says, don't worry about it because I'm a wacko doctor. And you just gave birth to a head. So what I'll do is I'll do a head transplant and I'll transplant your baby head's body that you just gave birth to. It was a dead head, by the way. It wasn't a live head. Yeah. It was dead. So he put the dead head that she gave birth to on the head
husband?
Of her husband. Yeah. But she don't like it because it's weird because it's like she's sleeping with their child.
Oh my!
It's an adult head with like long hair and stuff. It's so eventually she tries to run away from that guy because he's creeping her out.
Yeah.
And then she meets up with the midget. All right. The clown guy stalks the girl, and the girl is heavy.
Okay.
And you can tell in the movie they called for a heavy actress. She's cute as button, but she's heavy. And so the clown guy, the ex-boyfriend, stalks her around while she's happy with this new midget. And the midget guy is like he's been in other movies. He's more like a hip hop guy or something. He's not an actor at all.
Okay.
He's like, "Wake up, baby. I think me and you ought to like each other." You know, it's like that kind of stuff. There's no, I'm telling you, this movie, like the sets were made with like 2 sheets of construction paper. I'm telling you, it's like nothing to this movie at all. Yeah. And so the clown kills the woman and the midget guy cuts her open and climbs in her womb to be born again. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, so I'm going to leave it there. Again, called Dark Side of the Womb. Ben Harley, before we started the show, you mentioned Sonny Boy. Yeah. And Sonny Boy looks like a nature documentary compared to this movie.
I guess so.
It definitely held my attention.
Oh, my God.
Held my attention. It said, hey, yo, Timo, you want to see something weird? Hey, strap it on. Hold on to your teeth. Here we go. So,
holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, thought you'd enjoy hearing about that.
Yeah. What is that called again?
It's called Dark Side of the Womb. Now, Ben Harley, you have to have Amazon Prime to see these gold gems. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
This was, I was sitting there going, I don't know if this is a movie you're supposed to commit suicide after, or if it's a movie you're supposed to have your friends over drinking with. I had no idea at all.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Whoever wrote it has done at least one drug in their life. That's all I know.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whew. Wow. So now I didn't subject Angio to that one. That was.
No.
I want to keep my marriage intact, Ben Harley. It's important to me. I'm getting older and not better looking. I need to keep things happy around my house. So.
Oh my goodness.
So speaking of the lovely and talented Angio,
yes.
We're I think it's like a Saturday night, and I say, as always, what do you want to look at? What kind of flavor? What do you want to see? She's like, I don't know. I'm tired. We've been doing stuff with this house. We're trying to sell.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was like in a movie, Ben Harley. It was like a bing above my head. I said, I am going to pull out a movie that you have heard of since you were a little girl, that you have never seen, and that you are going to be blown away by how good it is, because you do not think this movie is any good. Oh, I had her intrigued, Ben Harley. I got you intrigued.
Yes, yeah.
What the hell? Look at this beat. I didn't say anything. I walked over to my small collection of films that I have, my little library.
Yes.
I popped out a DVD, gently walked over to the player, popped it in, and what comes up on our screen, Ben Harley, but big in 1981 lettering, bubble lettering, we see Porky's.
Oh boy.
Oh baby.
Oh, that's the goods.
It is no. Listen, now everybody listening. If when we grew up, Harley, I don't know how old people are listening, but they're somewhere in between 100 and 3 months old.
Right.
Floating around with a GoPro on their head. So in 1981, when this was, I guess it was technically released in 82 here in the States. It's Canadian, believe it or not.
Is that really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So when it was released in 82, like widely, this was known as what? A dirty film.
A dirty film.
Like remember the first Friday the 13th was kind of a no film. It was dirty. It was for adults. It was nasty. It wasn't for us our little mush minds, right?
Right, exactly.
This movie is the rated R American Graffiti. I mean, it really is. It's set in the 50s. Okay, so first of all, you got a period piece. Yeah. All right, you have Alex Karras and Susan Clark in it, both, also known as Webster's mom and dad.
Yeah.
And Alex Karras, I believe, played for the Lions. The Detroit Lions, if I'm not mistaken. And he plays the sheriff, and Susan Clark, who was Webster's mom, plays a prostitute in it. Right, yeah. So we got that going for us.
Yeah.
It was also, for 24 years after its release, it was the highest grossing Canadian film.
Really?
For 24 years after its release. Yes. So, Ben Harley, next up, I like the sequels.
Yes,
and
you did Porky's 2, The Revenge?
No, that's Porky's 2 the next day.
Oh.
Porky's The Revenge is the third one that nobody likes. We don't like the third one that much. But Porky's 2, The Revenge has a clan in it. And they get their just reward. I watched Porky's 2 with my grandma when I was like 9. And we were both laughing our asses off at it.
That is funny.
Oh, God rest her soul. Yeah, but... So we had a ball watching Porky's. Both of us were laughing. It's a great film. People should go back and look at this. You know what's really interesting? It's Bob Clark, who did Christmas Story.
Oh, is it?
So it's funny if you go back and watch Porky's, it's kind of the opposite effect of Christmas Story. Where Christmas Story, nobody went and saw it. Nobody knew what it was. Now it's all over the place. With Porky's, everybody went and saw it. And now you don't ever hear about it.
No.
At all.
No, you don't.
So but it's still Bob Clark, and it holds up. It holds up. So,
I watched something recently. It had the guy who played Porky was in it, and I can't remember.
Oh, the fat dude?
Yeah.
He was in Better Off Dead. He was John Cusack's boss at the burger joint.
There you go. That's right. Yeah.
Yep. The guy he backs into when they're trying to race the Japanese guys. Yeah.
Yeah, but Porky's was great. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, there's some funny stuff in there. Like, oh my God, just hilarious stuff. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, so that was fun. So I highly recommend to revisit that for anybody. Let's see here. Moving here quickly, Ben Harley watched a movie I found a little fascinating, and I think you would too. Okay. The movie, it's also on Amazon. No, actually, this was not on Amazon Prime. No. This was on my Sling TV. Okay. You can stream, they have on demand on every channel. And we have a Tribeca Shortlist channel. So I'm assuming it's owned by the Tribeca Film Festival or whatever. I just happened to be looking at it. I've never really looked at it before. So I went down to what was on demand. I saw a documentary section. I'm like, oh, doggy, score.
Yeah.
So I found a documentary called 24 by 36, a movie about movie posters.
Really?
Yes, sir. All about illustrators. Now, there was the movie about the one guy. This is not that. This has all of the guy. Like, it goes back to the 1900s, like early 1900s, and all the way up. The way they changed, the styles changed, and the layouts changed, and how it went from real nice paintings to pictures of floating heads with Scream with all the stars' heads on them, and how bummed out everybody was and stuff. I actually was looking for our good pal Joel Robinson, since he had done some work for Scream Factory. Did not see him though. But they were talking about like the company Mondo from down in Texas. Okay, I actually witnessed that, not knowing who this is. Poster company down in Texas that does their own version of poster art for old movies. Yeah, it's supremely popular. And I think they're screen printed. So it's so they're supremely popular with poster collectors. And I saw people running up to their table like it was Bruce Campbell. And I remember looking over at Gary going, what's over there? He's like, oh man, it's Mondo. was like, well, shoot, I better walk over and look. They had like 3 stacks of what looked like sketches to me.
Okay.
On the table, and people were fucking fighting over them. And I looked up at the guys and I looked down at the paper and I'm like, clearly this is something I don't get.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get this. Like, and the poster art was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice, but I'm not a poster collector in those terms.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I like posters. I like the movie art, the original movie art posters, you know, and stuff. But this was different. I was like, okay. So clearly I just don't get it. And meaning I like posters, but I don't need the original one sheet for $700.
No.
That's not my thing. You know, I love posters, but I'd not like that. And this movie was about that, was about the collectors explaining what a one sheet is. You know what I mean? Like but I enjoyed it. A lot of convention stuff going on, of course, you know, in the film and everything, but it was good. It was educational for me.
That sounds good. Yeah, and I really like especially old movie poster art and stuff. And I think I was pretty heavily influenced by that stuff when I was younger too. You know, and you go back nowadays, but you know, and those guys too, man, they sold those movies for those people. Yeah, a lot of times because the poster art was the reason. You know, like, oh my God, look at that! Right, I gotta see that. And you know, same thing happened with VHS when it came out. Oh my God, look at the art on the cover of this thing, man. It's got to be great. Right. But yeah, I love those guys. Those guys really did. They helped sell those films.
Yeah, and I think you would enjoy it because it definitely says, hey, these guys weren't allowed to sign their work. They, you know, half the stuff that we all know, all these amazing posters, especially from the 50s, all those sci-fi movies that we loved or at least I love from the 50s. Yeah. They had the great poster art and then the movie. You know, so it's the guy who did the Creature from a Black Lagoon, the Universal stuff. You know, they were talking about all of this, and it's Star Wars, the original Star Wars ones, and everything.
Was the guy from that did the Thing on there?
A little bit, not much, but they had him a little bit on there. Yeah, so he
did that in like one night.
Yes, without knowing what the movie was about. Yep. Except knowing where it took place. That was it. Yeah. So, that was great. I actually have a nice signed poster of that from Dean Cundy, actually, or Cundy, or whatever. I actually had him sign that, which I know that's kind of odd that he didn't do the poster, but anyway. Yes, so I would say this is going to get you over to Amazon Prime, Ben Harley, but no.
It might.
But it's not on Amazon Prime. It's not on Amazon. It's on my Sling TV, yeah. But this is the kind of movie that would be on Amazon Prime. I'm surprised it's not. And it will be if it isn't. It's not now. So, very, very cool. Now, Ben Harley, on Amazon Prime, I did watch a film called The Messengers, a podcast documentary.
Oh, okay. All righty.
On our podcast.
Lay it on me.
Yeah, going to discuss the podcast. You know, it was really interesting because it went through a little bit of the history of podcasting and podcasters and different ways they do it. Yeah. And pretty much saying what we already know is that basically anything can be a podcast. It can be a video, it can be audio, it can be about something, about this and that. And I thought it was interesting also is that we don't engage our listeners as directly as a lot of these people on these shows. These shows really engage these people. And also there's a lot of live shows that are, let's just put it this way. I have no interest in doing a live Timo and Harley show or to be a socially conscious show. I just put it that way. I mean, it's not like we don't make a comment now and then or a crack.
Yeah.
But I think we're two people who miss, the days when people knew how to compartmentalize their politics and frustration and outrage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now there's enough opinions on life just a click away. So I think I would rather have fun with folks who listen. And I don't feel like we need to say anything where they feel like they need to engage us unless we make a mistake, which happens sometimes. Or if somebody wants to comment that they love the movie, which happens, it happens. It's not like we don't engage with our audience at all. I'm just saying we don't have that kind of show. So it was fascinating to me to watch it and see how other shows react with their listeners and how other shows like their formats and their content. And one interesting thing that we came up with on our own,
Yes.
that I didn't even realize that this was sort of an unwritten rule, Ben Harley, is that they say to be a successful podcast, the nichier you are, the better.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I remember when we started this show, we were, what was it? Cult, exploitation, horror, wrestling, or something like that. And then we went to classic, rare, and cult horror.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is, I would say, exactly what we do.
Yeah.
You know, in a way. And I think it's served us well. I didn't know we were supposed to do that until we were doing the show for 3 years or something like that, you know? But I think and that was interesting because I never even thought about that the nichier you get, and they said, now this is not us, but they said, and local to where you live.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a big, now I don't know anything about that. Local, I guess what we do isn't local. It's not like we have a, I don't know if like up in Toledo, like we would have a real successful podcast about beachwear. Snorkeling
maybe
gear.
Not. No. No.
You know, air conditioners.
We do have the Great Lakes. Yeah. Not this time of year.
No, I know. Yeah. Well, you know what I mean, though. It's like I guess horror movies are a little more universal, so are whatever called movies, you know. But I just think that I don't have much interest in like the newer films, or we certainly don't talk much about the TV shows unless you're watching one.
Right,
You know?
exactly. Yeah.
So, and that's really what's.
I don't blame you there, Tim.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's really what's keeping I wouldn't say horror going, but I think it's what's expanding the convention bubble is the TV, and I'm about ready to duck on that bubble bursting, you know, a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's getting a little weird. A little TV, like when you have like 45-year-old dudes like following around 12-year-old dudes wanting to hang out and drink with them and like get their autographs and pictures with them. We've made a turn in the convention community that I am not comfortable with at all.
No, me
I'm
either.
not. So that's why you don't see us as much anymore. It's a little too much fanboying out at this point. You know. So.
Yeah, it has changed quite a bit.
It has.
The last few years, quite a bit.
Yeah, and no offense to fanboys, I'm just not one.
No. Like I said, it's been such a dramatic shift in things too, which it doesn't make. I don't know.
Yeah,
so.
It's just the way it is. It's not like there's anybody to blame. It's just the way it is. You know. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was an interesting movie, Ben Harley. Again, it was called The Messengers, a podcast documentary. It was fascinating. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I'd like to check that out.
Real fascinating to see people who bought like multi-million-dollar homes on the beachfront doing their podcast, which that part I haven't been really successful with.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we are working on it.
Right.
We're only 7 years in this thing here, so we got a little time. But, what'd you get a look at, Ben Harley?
Well, Timo, you know, there's a few things that I've spoke upon the last couple of weeks that, that I did finish the Black Sabbath documentary.
Nice.
Which was really good. I will say, upon talking to my a buddy of mine, it was funny because he said the same thing. Yeah, that one was a little bit better because I guess the complaint with that last, when they did the Last Supper was because they kept cutting into the music. I was like, I just got done talking about that on our podcast. I was like, because it was annoying. Now this one it was just so much. It was well edited. Let's put it that way. So much better, And so, not a bad documentary. It's called The End of the End, Timo. So I was wrong.
Of the End.
Yeah, because I think their last album was called the Beginning of the End or something. 13, I think is what it's called. But yeah. Anyways, good documentary. Really nice stuff to see. I actually will say, I actually enjoyed Ozzy for the most part throughout it. And so it was nice at the end. I thought about you a little bit, Timo, because, you playing in a band and what it takes to play in a band and record and do all that stuff. And I mentioned after their show, they went in to a studio and just kind of hung out and played. And I think they did record some stuff that day. And it was funny because they were getting done saying their goodbyes, and they put Ozzy's, someone had to put Ozzy's coat on for him, help him out there. But it was kind of funny. He said, okay, well, we all done? He said, yep. He said, okay, well, fuck off. And then he left.
That sounds like me. It sounds like me in the studio. It really does sound like me.
So I thought about you, Timo. I thought, there's Timo right there. Yeah, well, okay, we're done. Yeah, well, fuck off.
I did, I forgot to mention, I did on Amazon Prime, I did watch a Slayer concert and a couple of documentaries about thrash music.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we had a lot of like Exodus and bands like that were
Overkill and stuff.
Yeah, Overkill. Yeah, my old friends Overkill. Yeah, they were.
Love those guys.
And there, so yeah, I did mention that. So there's another Amazon Prime bait for you.
Yeah, I gotta get over there. I'm working on it.
But that's good. That's a nice way to leave the studio. I can't repeat. Yeah. Believe it or not, out of all the things I've said on this show, I can't repeat what I said walking into the studio last time we recorded. Because I would probably be all over social media hanging out with Al Franken. It wasn't sexual in nature, but we'll just put it that way. It was very offensive what I said amongst friends, I get it. Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So, they touched on a little bit of Iommi, Tony Iommi's when he got sick too, and got his cancer scare and stuff, So, but really good, Timo. Really good, and I like me some Black Sabbath. So it had me jumping around the shop a little bit.
Oh, jeez, that sounds a little dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
Laying my head on the dryer,
let me not say I was jumping real high.
Drinking emulsion,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bathing in emulsion.
Yeah.
Well, let me stick with some documentary stuff, Tim. I did watch something really cool too, a documentary called Starring Adam West. And really pretty good, and basically it kind of talks about his career, but it basically revolves around his daughter and also his agent, and they're trying to get him. Believe it or not, this guy did not have a star on the Walk of Fame.
Oh wow!
So it revolves around them trying to get him, and I don't want to ruin the end, but he does get it.
Okay.
But I can't believe it. I'm like, are you serious? And it's funny because at the end they're like, oh yeah, you're in good company. You're right next to Boyz II Men. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a second.
Right.
Wait. One more time. Boyz II Men has a star on the Walk of Fame, but Adam West, Batman from the television show and amongst other television shows that he's done and other things, does not have a star. But no, wait, Boyz II Men, right?
Well, there was
Boyz II Men, was it?
Those whole series of real popular family films starring Boyz II Men. Like, why are they even in Hollywood, right?
Oh yeah, and all the people Boyz II Men have influenced in the genre of making televisions, westerns and other type things. And oh my God, I was just like, you gotta be kidding me! So really. And it was nice to see he was happy about it. I think he was more happy for that his daughter and them because they'd fought so hard to get him on there, But man, what a character. And like I said, I was lucky enough to meet Adam West years ago here in Toledo. And I remember what he said to me. I walked up and he said, what's your name? I said, Ben. He said, Ben, what's going on in your world today? And I was like, oh, you, I guess, basically, But yeah, what a nice guy. He, I actually got back in line and got his autograph again. But yeah, just super nice, and it's funny what you see out of Adam West is what you get, and it was, you felt for him because, basically it was hilarious. He got into doing, radio and a couple, different things, and some television.
Right.
And they took pictures of him to send to Hollywood. He's like, I found this old horse, and I got a cowboy hat and I took some pictures, and it's hilarious because I'm like, holy crap, that's exactly how he looks in these, when I've seen him in my rope operas.
Right. Yeah.
And he's in a few of those, and it was hilarious. I'm like, wow, those pictures look exactly, I'm sure they looked at that and were like, oh yeah, let's get this guy in here. And he went to Warner Brothers, and did pretty well. And he was in there with some pretty big names, at the time, Clint Eastwood and Steve McQueen.
Right.
I'm trying to think who else. Roger Moore. A lot of these guys that were, up and coming, and he was right in there.
Right.
And I did not know how popular or how big of a name he kind of was at the time, even before Batman. Mm-hmm. He was this big up and coming guy, and then he landed Batman. and it goes through that, talks about the Batman stuff a little bit, but then it shows how he kind of hit rock bottom after that too, when Batman, and like here he's like Clint Eastwood and Steve McQueen, Roger Moore's 007, Steve McQueen's, and Bullet or whatever.
Yeah.
You got, Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood, and I'm driving cars at an Autorama type thing through like smashing through stuff or jumping cars over buses and I didn't even know that stuff. Yeah. I had no idea he was doing that stuff, and then it showed him, wearing the bat, suit at Autoramas and different things and stuff, and it just, you kind of felt for him, but then it showed how his resurgence, and a lot of it happened to be with some of the late night television and, what was politically incorrect. He was on there and he was brought back a lot. So yeah, it was nice. I don't want to get too much into it, I guess, Timo, because we'll talk the next hour about him, but good stuff. Yeah. It's a documentary called Starring Adam West. Mm-hmm. And I think you get a better appreciation for the guy, and I'm really happy for him how things changed. And a lot of it was the voiceover. And he, like he said, I wasn't taking myself serious. I was kind of playing, because he's a character in real life. What I mean? He's just a character. He really is, and they show a lot of that stuff and just really good in the way he handled fame, and then also the way he handled the rejection and stuff is just something to be, be proud of, really. Right. And even as a fan and a casual fan of Adam West, I still,
Right. Well, I was having a talk with our good friend, Mr. Danny Hicks. Yeah. I don't know. I said something to him like how lucky he was as an actor, and it's not like Danny's on some big television series right now. What do you mean? He's like, you're in something that lasts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like, how many actors would kill for that?
Yeah.
And then I even went and kind of started talking about his good friend, Bruce Campbell, who we've met a couple times.
Yeah.
And, I said, he's always going to be Ash, but God love him.
Yeah.
There's only one Ash. That means nobody else can play him. And that's why Batman's had a hard time since Adam West.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's hard, even with these brilliant actors that have played him. It's like, I don't even want Adam West anymore. But at the same time, I look at it, I was like, that's not Adam West.
Right.
I can't figure it out. My brain won't allow it to happen, And it's the same thing with a character like that. I was just thinking about this the other day, just kind of about some of these actors that get pigeonholed, and I call them like one-hit wonders. Like Tommy Two-Tone. If you go see Tommy Two-Tone, you want to hear one song. 86753. Yeah. You don't want to hear like the third song on the second side of their 9th album. You don't care about it. You want to hear that song. But you really want to hear that song. And what the musician, the artist has to understand is I did something people really want. I just didn't do a whole lot of different things that people recognize as much. And that's the difference. It's not that it wasn't good and valid. It just wasn't recognized. Like Adam West, he was in a Three Stooges movie.
They showed that in there. Yeah. They showed a little bit of that.
A lot of TV Western stuff. I see them all the time on your rope operas are on my TV on Saturdays. I don't watch them as intently as you do, but I'll sit down and watch 5 minutes of Rawhide, 5 minutes of, this and that, just because I'm around. I'm cleaning the basement or something, and I will get caught up in a story or something. I see, I saw like, the most famous of the famous of Hollywood. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
You see. And secondary roles in those shows as guest stars or whatever. So you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just had, it was just nice to see his resurgence and stuff too, and how he dealt with it. Really was nice, Real quick, Timo, I had a nice little surprise. Let's keep it a little light, I guess, right now, real fast. I was watching a movie, I've been taping a lot of stuff on my free Showtimes HBO thing. And I came across a little movie that is kind of a guilty pleasure for me that I find quite hilarious. I haven't seen it in a number of years, but a little movie called Major Payne. Starring Damon Wayans.
That's Angie O's one of her favorite movies of all time. I swear to you, it's one of her favorite movies.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh my God. I love it. And I haven't seen it in a long time. And so I thought, I'm going to watch it.
I said, get your mouth off of your titty. I love that movie. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, it's just funny. And what was neat, though, and I'm getting better at this, Timo. So the movie's starting, and I see it's a Nick Castle film. So I did not know that Nick Castle directed this little movie.
No.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that either.
Film. Yeah.
I didn't realize it. Yeah.
So actually, going into it, I was like, you know what? I actually had a little bit more fun with it. And I love that movie. It's just funny. You know what I mean? It was at a time period, too, when some of those guys were doing those movies and certain characters, that came out of Living Color and things like that, were kind of taking over.
Well, those movies are fun, too, because they weren't like super PC. They weren't awful, but they weren't super PC. They were kind of a little more, they allowed you to be who you are. And just because you laugh at something doesn't make you a raving misogynist or lunatic racist. You just laughed at something. That's all.
Right.
People gave you credit, benefit of the doubt to being an adult. How about that?
Right. And that's what I was thinking about this movie. I'm like, I'm not sure you can make this movie right now.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it was kind of a kid's movie at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. Good stuff. So I enjoyed watching that the other day. I also watched another Mystery Science 3000. Moon 02. Not sure if you saw Moon. Yeah, it's
the Joel.
It's a Joel one. It's all right about these guys who I don't know. They used to be good pilots, but the guy just basically salvages satellites now, and so they use him to fly a meteorite into the moon that's full of uranium or something, I forget exactly, but older one.
I wonder if it was a Josh. Name. Oh, is it Josh Weinstein?
Yeah.
I won't lie. I was gonna say I just looked. And I'm like, I don't have it, and I'm like, oh, that's why it's Josh Weinstein.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it was okay, Tim. It was okay. Not too bad. I've been catching up on my Gothams as well, Timo. Gotham's been pretty good lately. That pig head guy's been causing a lot of trouble.
Jackass.
Oh, yeah, he is. And he's quite the jackass. Kind of looks like Egghead a little bit, but without the pig mask. But I don't think it was Egghead. So, there was one, the last two episodes, what they've been kind of doing lately, there's a couple different stories going on, so one week will be one story. They kind of mix in some other stuff.
I like that.
Little Bruce Wayne's being kind of a little jackass right now because we'll get to that a little bit later down the road. But just a jackass. Let me tell you, just being a little jackass. But there was some funny stuff I think you might appreciate, Timo. They've been keying on the Riddler. Remember, I think he told you he's running around with Solomon Grundy now, and they're in an underground fighting thing to try to make some money, so they could fix
any mud wrestling. Brain. Any mud wrestling?
No
down?
mud wrestling.
No.
Yeah,
you don't got me yet. You don't got me yet.
Yeah. But so basically, at Enigma, the Riddler's using Grundy to make some money to get his brain fixed. So they had a fight the other day, and it was funny because the name of the episode was called "Stop Hitting Yourself." So Solomon Grundy got in a fight with this guy, and he took a couple shots and just made him angry, right?
Yeah.
So he actually pulls this guy's arm off and beats the guy to death with his arm, right? And so of course, the crowd starts chanting, "Stop hitting yourself," boom. So that's the new thing. But he just beats the hell out of it. I thought, Timo might appreciate that.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I like that. Yeah.
So stop hitting yourself. Pretty good episode. The Riddler's getting back at it. He's kind of making fun of the Penguin. He was dressing like him and acting like him, which actually, from an actor's standpoint, it was pretty cool because he was doing, he did a pretty good impression of the guy who plays the Penguin. So not bad. The next episode that I watched was a pretty good one. They said, they catch up with the pig guy. That guy's they really they pushed the envelope a little bit with this Gotham, which is okay, but you really have to take it for what it is, But there's a lot of dissension going on right now, Tim. You got the Penguin on edge, and now they just made Jim Gordon. He is now Chief Gordon, not quite commissioner yet.
I gotcha.
But so that's got a little bit of problems on its own too. Mm-hmm. But they did end up catching the pig guy. This guy basically what he was doing, he took he was killing dirty cops, but he doesn't like the rich much either. Okay. So what do you do to the rich, Timo? You kill homeless people and you make meat pies and you force the rich to eat them.
Okay.
So,
yeah. I'm on board.
Like I said, they're really pushing the envelope a little bit, but not too bad. The writing of this show is good. Like I said, every episode you got about 90% of my, of my respects. There's
Gotcha.
a little bit that, but that's with me pretty much with anything. I can't, nothing's perfect yet, Tim.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it. I'm still waiting.
Except there will be blood. That's about it.
Yes, that's pretty close. Pretty close. But yeah, good stuff. I'm really looking forward to. I know they just released Justice League. Didn't get the best reviews, but I don't care. I think there's a plot out there against the old DC movies. I swear
It's
there is,
Marvel's
man.
doing it.
I'm telling you, man, somebody is. But I'm going to try to go see that during our
Okay.
the holiday weekend.
nice.
I'm going to
Okay.
go check that out. So I'll get back to you at the end of that.
All right, let's get to our official little films for this week, Ben Harley.
All right, Timmy.
Let's see. First up here, we have filmed in 1979, released in 1981, the film Scared to Death.
Scared to death.
And there was like a secondary title, like an also known as Sinjanor. I
Okay.
think was that. Now let me just start by saying that there was a sequel to this film, okay? And I believe it was also called Sinjanor or possibly Sinjanor 2. And our friends over at Synapse sell it.
No. Okay.
And actually, I talked to Jerry about it, and me and Jerry were even foggy about whether or not he was selling Scared to Death or the sequel. They are selling the sequel. This is the original film. I believe the sequel was made like 1990. Same monster, a little bit bigger budget.
Okay.
Actually, it might be a little bit better. But let's get into this here. Okay, so
Sure.
let me get Movie Guy out and do a real short synopsis. Got 2 super short synopsises. So Movie Guy's getting his Thanksgiving vacation here, pretty much. So, all right, come on, Movie Guy.
Okay.
Let's do the first one.
Movie Guy.
Here we go. There we go. All right. Terror stalks Los Angeles as a bioengineered creature haunts the sewer systems in search of human spinal fluid. All righty.
All righty.
Yep. Pretty much it. It's a real simple story. There's a guy, he's an ex-cop. He's the star of the film. And there's some crashes on the earth, and there's an alien running about, and he wants spinal fluid. And the cops can't figure out who this serial killer is, what's going on. So they have to get the guy, the helper, the ex-cop as a helper. We've seen this story before 100 million times. Being called back into duty, correct?
Yeah.
Thing. And it's a bit of an alien on Earth
Yeah.
kind of thing. Here's a couple of interesting things, though. The star that I'm talking about, the guy, the ex-cop, John Stinson.
Okay.
Basically what I knew him from was he was a therapist in the movie The Hand.
Oh, okay.
But it was originally supposed to star Rick Springfield. Believe it or not. Yes. And Rick Springfield called William Malone, the director, the night before filming started and said that he can't do it because he's going to miss too many acting classes. Ben Harley, that's like me saying, I can't make it to band practice and play that gig because I might miss guitar lessons. Not many better lessons than actually doing it, right?
Yeah, a little hands-on, yeah.
Yes.
I might miss playing the hockey game tonight because I got to practice a little bit more.
Yeah,
I'm going to stay home and practice. Like, what?
Right. So, William Malone directed this, okay? Now, William Malone is this to me. Now, he directed the movie Creature from the early 80s, which had Klaus Kinski in it.
Klaus Kinski? Yeah.
Klaus!
Just watched that recently.
Did you? Okay, yeah.
I think it was on...
probably Comet.
Oh, yeah. Yep,
yeah, probably, exactly. He also directed Fear.com, which was kind of a theatrical movie about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. And then he did the remake of House on Haunted Hill.
Okay.
And he is from Lansing, Michigan. That's not...
Is he?
Yeah, not sure how far that is from you in the Michigan.
Not too far.
Put your hand out and show me where that is on Michigan.
Yeah.
Haha, Michigan people. I know you. And you UP people up there, too. I know Michigan. I've never been there. But I know, I've never been to Michigan, believe it or not. That I can remember.
You've never been to Michigan?
Not that I can remember. I might have been, but I don't remember ever being there.
You treaded closely when
I
you
have.
came up here. Yeah.
Dangerously close, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is that William Malone was one of the directors who worked on the Masters of Horror series.
Oh, okay.
And he was like the director. I was like, why is he here?
Yeah.
Like, and now, in fairness, he directed a lot of television, like Freddy's Nightmares and things. Okay. I think the Friday the 13th series, he did some Tales from the Dark Side, I think, or Tales from the Crypt. possibly Tales from the Crypt. I can't remember which one exactly. And my question I still bow to you is, what was he doing in Masters? Who was he blowing? I don't.
Somebody.
Yeah, I don't.
One of the masters.
Yeah. It really was like, I know the guy's name because he was in Masters of Horror. And when I saw, I was like, who is this guy? I mean, I'd seen Creature and I'd seen this film, Scared to Death, but I didn't know exactly who the director, was.
There's not much mastery going on in this film.
No. So anyway, again, Scared to Death. Hit me, Harley, with this. I know you haven't seen this, so hit me with
No, yeah, I'd never seen this one before. I want to say this film, the monster is quite the ladies' man. Well, let's say that. So he had that going for him, and quite the looker too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he knew how to lay
Not a bad monster.
Yeah. No, he knew how to lay a kiss on a lady.
Yeah, he sure did. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know, Tim. This movie's kind of just it's really kind of boring. Mm-hmm. It's just, I mean, there's some monster here and there, and it's funny because I was laughing to myself like, okay, well, yeah, I know monsters like to hide in shadows and stuff like that. But every time it got a little bit darker, someone got into like a corner or something like that, I'm like, there's going to be a monster. He's going to come from somewhere because they really didn't want to show it too much, I don't think. And I don't know if they ever, I don't think they showed it from the waist down or anything. It was mostly just like up top, which is fine. I'm cool with that.
It looked good. It did look good. It was not a bad monster. It was definitely H.R. Giger, H.R. Giger inspired. And they admitted that. Yeah, but totally. Yeah. So it's a cool looking monster. It looks more like Species. Looks more like the monster from Species. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is cool for 81 or 83.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as the film goes, I don't know, Tim. It just didn't really, I don't know. I didn't really, it was okay. Mm-hmm. It started out real good. I mean, you get boobs in the first couple of seconds of the film. You can't go wrong. Really.
Right.
So I thought we had something going there.
Right.
I thought me and this film had we were seeing eye to eye. Yeah. Then,
Right. Well, it's one of those movies that kind of reminds you, like you said, like, just there'll be somebody walking down the street and then out of the shadows jumps the monster. It's one of those movies that reminds you, if you're walking down like a dark street alone and you see a camera crew filming you do it, turn around because nothing good's going to happen at that point. Just turn around.
Right. Exactly.
And I don't understand why those people in the film didn't see the camera crew because the lighting was clearly on them. And just turn around and get the hell out of there. I mean, but that was 1981. People weren't as sophisticated as today, Ben Harley.
No.
It's got a good monster. It's the kind of movie that we like for sure.
Yeah.
Little too much. Hey, I can mellow improvise act.
Yeah.
A little too much of that. A little too much of, I know the guy was a decent actor. Like he could do it like comfortably. Like they were over showing how comfortable they could act. How they could be comfortable and stuff, and
made me too comfortable.
I rooted for his old partner, the black fella. I was rooting for that guy. I like that guy. He wasn't bothering me too much in the movie. He kind of let the movie happen around him.
Yeah,
so I was on his side a little bit, here's the thing. This movie is right from the right time period. It's the right kind of movie. It suffers from its budget, and this was like William Malone learning how to make a movie before he became, I guess, a master of horror, I suppose. Which sure, but he was learning. Honestly, on the disc here, now the one I got, and I believe this is the only one that's available. Retro Media put it out, and I do believe that's Fred Olen Ray's company, and. To the credit to the disc, there is a William Malone interview on it that's probably more interesting than the film. And he does talk about stuff about like Rick Springfield is supposed to be in it. He does talk about, yes, the monster was clearly an H.R. Giger design, influence and stuff. But the most interesting thing is that not only that, but he worked at Don Post Studios, which was the mask company, the real famous mask company. And he did, the director, William Malone of this film, he did the mask for Michael Myers.
Did he really?
For Carpenter in the original. Yeah. He's the one. Wow. He is the one who took the William Shatner. Yeah. And
hauled the eyes out.
Yeah. He did all that. So that was interesting. Look, It's
That
not.
is
This movie is not a bad monster. There's not a, and I appreciate because most of these movies, like The Being, is a kind of a fun movie, but the monster sucks. And this one, it's kind of a shit movie, but the monster's kind of cool.
Yeah,
and the kills are funny because the monster is not being made fun of, but you can almost watch it and make fun of the victims.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah, it's kind of like one of those movies. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
So, look, I'm gonna, I'm not huge, but I'm gonna on the movie myself. It's just not enough for me. I want to watch the sequel. I'm gonna have to talk to Jerry from Synapse about that. We're gonna have to pick up the sequel and check that out. Yeah. What do you think, Ben Harley? What do you think?
I might have to on it too. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I didn't really like many of the characters. The monster was okay, but I don't know. I just kind of was like, you kind of see stuff coming. I don't know. I just wanted a little bit more, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of cop drama and a lot of romance. That's a nuisance in the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, to me. So, but it did make me want to watch the sequel because I did like the monster, and I'm like, man, I remember I saw the sequel. I know I saw it, and I just remember it being okay. So maybe that's a good sign.
Sure.
Or whatever. So, I'll track her down. I'll track it down. We'll see what we can do here. So, let's get to our next official film, Mr. Ben Harley. Give us a little time to talk about this film from 1934.
Ooh,
we have the John Ford film, The Lost Patrol.
He did a couple movies, right?
Yeah, a couple of them. You might have heard of a few of them, yeah. Worked with a couple of slightly known names. One was it Jack Wayne?
Jack Wayne, I think.
Jack Wayne, yeah, something like that. Jay Wayne, something like that.
Wayne, yeah.
Let me get you to a short little one-sentence synopsis again for The Lost Patrol. All right, here we go, Mr. Ben Harley.
Okay.
A dozen British soldiers lost in a Mesopotamian desert during World War I are menaced by unseen Arab enemies. Very simple. Yes, they are in the desert. They get lost. They're supposed to hook up with another patrol in World War I. They get lost in Africa, and they find an oasis. No pun intended.
Yeah, exactly.
With
you know about that.
Yes, with an old, kind of burnt out building of some sort, like an old, ruined building, and a little, like a water, little pond. I don't call it pond, more of a spring.
Pond.
That's a little spring coming up. Yeah. So basically, it's one of those things that you probably die there because it keeps you there because of the water, but there's nothing else there but sand and water and maybe a coconut to mess around with.
Right. Yeah.
Now, but the problem is that one by one, and not unlike a kind of Deliverance or something, they keep getting picked off by sniper fire coming from the dunes. Yeah.
Yep. And they can't figure out where it's coming from.
Right. And I'd like to commend the Foley artist in 1934, whose version of a silencer was literally this. Because I know it was a guy doing that when they were shooting. Yeah. So commence. Yeah.
Hey, got it done, right?
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. So now, I have seen this a few times. Now, this is a proto-horror film.
Yeah.
Not straight up horror, but this is one of those, it kind of gives you that, man, there's going to be movies coming up over the next 100 years almost that are going to take this plot and really horror it up a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And not only that, but it has the one, the only Mr. Boris Karloff in it.
Yeah. Who absolutely loses his freaking mind in
Yeah.
this film.
He's the chaplain. He's a chaplain of all things. So
that's what made it scary.
Right.
Yeah.
We've also got Victor McLaughlin in it and Wallace Ford and Alan Hale Sr. Not Junior, Alan Hale Sr. in it. Yeah. So what would you think, Harley? Is this the first time you've seen The Lost Patrol?
Yeah, and I've heard of this movie, but it's the first time I've seen it. And I enjoyed it. Like you said, it's an old film. I think that one of the first talkies, I think, possibly. Maybe, Timo, maybe. But it's going in knowing it was a John Ford film was really kind of cool too, so that really made me kind of look at it from a different light, and I knew I was in for something good. Now I don't want to say it was slow for me really at first. It's just some of them older films, it's just how they start, it's a little bit of a slow burn, but yet this one was okay. I like the characters. What I like about some of these older films too, or films with multiple characters is the fact that there are multiple, but they're still real tight knit. You know what I mean? Like that. It's a group, and it's like it's not all over the place, you know.
Right.
And there's characters to like, and there's characters not to like, and you kind of know pretty fast. You know what I mean? Like, and
right.
So I like the character build up in these older films. So this, I that's what kind of got me into it, I guess, right off the bat, you know. But I like this film, and you feel for these guys too. Like, you know, I think people were a lot tougher. Yeah, I can't say that, maybe, but you know, I mean, you're a little bit tougher back then.
Yes.
You know, like this isn't nothing. You know, like, you know, I think, and nowadays in the films, these people would have gone feral in 5 minutes.
Yeah, as soon as they realized what had happened, they would have been losing their minds, and yeah,
you know, so. But this is kind of cool. It does remind me of something like, you know, kind of like The Thing and some of these movies like you mentioned, you know, that will be coming.
Right.
You know, it just because you have these group of people are getting picked off one by one, you know, and this doesn't have so much of a mystery except for the fact that you don't know where it's coming from. You know, there's a sniper out there, and you know, if you get in certain spots away from this building or from the oasis, you're done.
Right.
And it tends to drive some of these guys mad, and just certain things happen. They lose their horses. It's bad luck. Things just keep happening, bad and worse, you know. And, and then you're at the mercy of this sniper. So I liked this movie, Tim. I thought it was really cool. I thought, like I said, Boris Karloff was out of his flipping mind.
Yeah.
And he got like, and it's funny because I grew up with a guy that lived across the street from me named Kenny Stewart. And it's funny, he looked like a crazy Kenny Stewart in it for me. I was laughing, you know, I'm like, oh shit. And he just, you know, and he just got more crazy. And I will have to say, I would like to kind of go back and watch this movie again with the subtitles. Because I had a hard time some of it with Boris Karloff, because he would talk real loud, but then he'd talk real soft, you know, and it was hard sometimes for me to understand all, you know. So I'd like, and this is a type of movie I want to go back and see again or tell people about.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, you know, and I thought like they didn't all go mad so fast, you know. Some of them went mad quicker than others, and I thought that was good too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but you knew. You go out into the desert, and these guys are pissed because their friends are getting picked off around them too. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they just run out into the desert and either not be seen again, or you'd see them. You hear, how was that sound again, Timo? Yeah, and then they hit the.
Well, that's the thing too. What's if this movie was remade? This kind of reminds me a little bit of Assault on Precinct 13.
Yeah,
which is kind of influenced by Rio Bravo and blah blah blah. And what would happen if they remade this movie today is they would also have characters in the Arab camp, and they would be plotting against each other. And what made this movie so great, it's just these guys are they get shot. Like one of them gets shot, and they take cover at this place, more or less, you know, or it's almost a bait. Like the Oasis is like a bait for them to go there and stuff. And you never see until the very end.
Yep.
You don't know how many, who, you know, it's one of those movies where your imagination makes you think maybe this is their patrol that they can't find. Yeah. Maybe they're mad at them. Maybe these are traitors. You start putting in way more complex, at least I did, way more complexities the first time I saw it, you know, besides this. But what I did remember is that the first time I saw this, I was like, this is a great film. And I think I understand the Boris Karloff thing. You know, because it is a creepy, eerie movie. It's as eerie as hell. The only thing that kind of it suffers is its age. And what I mean by that is I think when you were trying to struggle with it was slow or not, there are moments where it pauses and you get like, well, when I get back, Sarge, back home, I'm going to open up my ice cream stand. I sure am. You know, there is a little bit of that that really drags it down. But what's kind of cool also is that the soldiers themselves are kind of their own worst enemy. Yeah. In a lot of ways. And I think that's kind of neat, you know, and just the way, like, you're right, the characters start going loony because Victor McLaglen, he ends up a bit batty. And Karloff just spends the film going crazy. Oh, yeah. He ends up nuttier than a fruitcake. I mean, he ends up out of his skull. And it's just neat. And I knew you would like this because of that descent into madness and that isolated one by one getting picked off by an unseen presence type of thing, which is, I always think it's a good trope. It's a good technique in suspenseful filmmaking. And I think they did a bang up job. I mean, John Ford did a great job on this movie. With the exception of a couple of the 1934 dialogue moments, I give this a huge great ape up.
Yeah, me too. I think you made a really good point, Timo, because if it was made nowadays, you would see both sides, and then they'd be trying to make you feel bad about one thing or the other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And what I liked about this film is because it wasn't unseen. Your imagination does run wild a little bit. You're thinking, is this one guy? Or are they, is there more than one guy doing this? What? And then when they do come up at the end, you're like, oh my God, that's them. Okay, there it is. And then there's one more. You know what I mean? But it's cool because it's like, you finally see them. And I think that was the best part. And now I know I bitch and complain because a lot of times there's not enough monster, not enough this in these films. I like the fact that there wasn't. You couldn't. And it made it scary because that sound you made and then the bullets and the bullets hitting the sand, that was the monster. Right. That was, you never knew, and you weren't safe many places. And I just thought that was a cool part of it. I enjoyed this movie a lot. This was another nice surprise, Timo, and I appreciate it. I like these older films like this that, you can see what inspired many other films down the road, even through the 40s, 50s, 60s, and through up to our time. You know what I mean? And that's what's cool. I like these because it leaves a lot, to your imagination. But then again, it's still, there's enough going on too that you're still, it kept me going throughout the movie. I didn't really, feel like, it dropped at any point too much because the last people that are left, because there's not many characters there towards the end. It's just, and there's a little bit more dialogue, I guess, going on, but yet it was okay, because these guys, like the one guy, he's like, his Sarge snapped at one point because, and it's funny, tell me real fast. Saving Private Ryan is one of my favorite all-time movies. Love that movie. I think it's one of the greatest films, if not the greatest film ever made. I saw a little bit of Saving Private Ryan in this, where Tom Hanks' character, they never knew, what he was. And he's like, I was a school teacher. I like in this one, same thing with the Sarge. He's like, Sarge, you look at girls? I've never even seen you look at a girl. And he said, I was married once. And he goes out. And it's funny because the way he's telling that story, he's like, I was married. And then all of a sudden he gets flipping crazy and he wants to run out, and the other guy's going, no, don't leave me, because if you leave me, I'm going to be alone. All that stuff was good for me. I thought the ending was great. The last 10-15 minutes too were really good. I thought, and Boris Karloff's character is just, man, what a nut. When was Frankenstein come out, Timo?
That was 31.
Okay.
He did The Old Dark House and The Mummy and The Ghoul in 32. No, The Ghoul was 33, so I take that back. But The Mummy was 32, and then Lost Patrol. This was basically a movie he did after The Ghoul, so it was a few in between there. He did a lot of stuff, actually. I mean, after Frankenstein, he was a waiter in a movie. He was an uncredited sheik in a movie. Things like that. But the movies he's known for basically is Old Dark House, Mask of Fu Manchu, Mummy, The Ghoul, and then Lost Patrol. So he was already established pretty much as as a spook show, And so I think
he laid it on thick.
And I kind of think John Ford put him in there to kind of help the atmosphere of the film, because I think he recognized, I don't know what kind of movie this is, but this is not a normal drama. It's not a war movie. It's not a comedy. I don't know what this is, and what it ended up being was a thriller, a suspense thriller.
Yeah. Because you were scared of Karloff too. Is he going to kill us just to sacrifice us because he you know what I mean? Is he going to kill us? It's just, you didn't know at one point. At one point you didn't. I'm like, I'm as scared of him almost as the sniper.
Well, that's what I was saying too. The soldiers are their own worst enemies, at some point too. So I'm going to give, this is a huge, great bape up to the rafters for me. I really think this is a great film that should be seen and rediscovered and discovered by folks. And it's only an hour and 13 minutes long. It holds up. It holds up. There's only a couple moments where, like I said, when I get back to Sarge, I'm going to have myself an ice cream shop and I'm going to go to the baseball game and eat hot dogs, And there's only a couple of like creaky moments like that are kind of showing its age. But besides that, there's not much age to show. They're stuck in the desert. It's kind of a timeless thing. Your cell phone don't work out there either, as far as I know. I'm not going to go test it. So you can really play this out. But like I said, if this were made today, however, it would be ruined like the Assault on Precinct 13 remake.
Yeah.
Where there's just too much story and too much plot. It's like, what? Come on, And this is not unlike a Assault on Precinct 13.
No, they make you feel bad for the sniper, Timo. You would, then you're like, oh God, you know what I mean? And I just don't need that.
They'd make you hate the gun and love the sniper, right?
Exactly.
Just like the news does, right? So,
yeah.
All right, Ben Harley, what do you got? What do you got for this here?
I'm going to give this also a huge Grape Ape up to the rafters.
Nice.
I liked this film a lot. It's one that I will, go back and revisit. And it's nice to see where a lot of the stuff that I really enjoy too. I like seeing where it comes from,
right?
At times too, or stuff that's similar to it,
right?
So huge Grape Ape.
Good, excellent. All right, well, we got two up to the rafter Grape Apes up for John Ford's The Lost Patrol, and two for Scared to Death. And I'm going to add Last Patrol. I'm going to add a extra up.
Yeah, for Boris Karloff.
If that movie would have been a space opera, the guns would have made a pew 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 sound. So, all right, folks. Let's see. Till next week. Come back, listen, stay spooky, and we'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people.
Pew pew. Pew pew.
You've been listening to the Timo and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com. Your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.